Alright, so this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to replace the oil-air separator or PCV separator on Mercedes M272 and M273 V6 and V8 engines. This is a common oil leak point. It's located on the passenger side cylinder head at the back of the engine. And what I'll be replacing is, there are three plugs. There are two small ones and then one larger one. And these actually go kind of at the end of each camshaft, and then the main plate to replace is this guy. And this is the one that's on the passenger side head at the back. So first thing is going to be to take off the air intake and filter system. So you're first going to want to remove the cosmetic cover here, and then you're going to want to pop out this line for the secondary air pump, and then you can go ahead and lift this off and these front snorkels should pop out, or you can pop those out, rotate them off here, and then lift the air filter piece off the engine. Alright, so now with the air intake off, you can see the cover down here. It's got this tube going to it, and then here are two of the screws up top. And this kind of black stuff you can see is all oil that's been leaking out. You can wipe it off. So we're going to be replacing this cover and then this plug. And then on the other side, on the other cylinder head, see there's a plug right there, and there's another plug on the back side of the fourth camshaft. So those three plugs and that cover. Alright, so back on the passenger side, and here's the cover, and it's held on with 4 Torx T30s. So the first thing is going to be to remove this hose. You can just hang it out of the way. And then here's the bolt pattern. So these two holes are on top, here and here, and then you have two more on the bottom, one there, and then it sits on there like that. So these are going to be kind of hard to get to, but it shouldn't be too bad overall. Alright, so for back here, for this bolt, I had to run to Home Depot and get some Allen wrench style Torx wrenches, because a socket would not fit between the heat shield and this, but now I got it, so I'm going to zip off those 4 bolts and take out the cover. Alright, so the 4 bolts are out, so it should just be a matter of kind of pulling this guy off nice and easily. I want to try to get it put up straight here. I think I got everything off. Feels like there's something else hanging it up a little bit. There we go. And there it is. Hold one off. Alright, and same thing, I have just a little film of oil on the seal of the new one, and on it goes. I'm actually going to do this from the front of the car, it's a little easier. So it looks like there's this diaphragm piece that you're going to push over a boss, and it might be kind of tricky. Oh yeah, there we go. Not too bad. Alright. Looks like the screws are going to be needed to seat it all the way down. Alright, so I have the new separator on. You can see how much nicer, I wiped away some of the caked on oil, how much nicer the aluminum valve cover looks. But there we go. That is the separator back on, new separator. You're just going to want to tighten these down kind of snug to compress the O-ring inside this a little bit. And then slide this hose back on, and you're good to go. Once you have the plugs in as well, that's that. Alright, so I'm going to start with this cover right here, and excuse these things in the shot, those are just tripod legs, but I believe all this cover should require is a kind of a flathead screwdriver to pry it off. Yeah, and that comes off pretty easily. Might need to pry around the edges a little bit, but no problem here. And there we go. There's one cover off. Alright, so here's the driver's side head, and it looks like there is a larger cover here. So I'm going to get in there and pry it a little bit, and it should just come off pretty easily like that. I think it helps if you can get around it all the way, but it's not so bad. Oh, and the plastic actually was coming apart on that one, so it's good to replace that. You can see some of the tabs started to break off, or did break off. Alright, so I tried to zoom in for this one. This is the final piece of the puzzle, this last one down here. And you can see this one looks like it's been leaking a little bit, so definitely good to replace this. There we go. Last one is out. Alright, so before I put the new one in, I just made sure that the tabs weren't still inside the engine when I pulled the old one off, but it looks like there's a cam seal, so it's not inside, so to speak. But then I've just lubricated the new one with a little bit of the oil and going to press it back on, and it's kind of tricky because like the other side, you have to align it and then just really press it on. So I'm going to put it in, actually come from a different angle. Okay, that one was super easy. And then same thing, just a light film of oil to lubricate it, and back in it goes. It's probably the trickiest one because it's the lower driver's side, but honestly none of these are very bad at all. These little ones are definitely trickier to get lined up than the big one was. Let's see if it will just slide in straight. There we go. There we go. All set. And now we just have to do the separator cover.